The time has come to finally add the player to my horror game, and for now it will be a simple capsule-shaped object with no animations. But it's a horror game, so who cares about the animations? Okay, I'm just kidding. We'll add some animations to the player a bit later, but for now more important is the feeling of walking in the game, because we don't want the player to hover over the ground level, as regular people don't do that very often. At least I didn't see it yet. So we need to add some head movement while walking to imitate the steps that our player will be making. And the best way to do that is by adding wobbling effect to our camera that is attached to our bean. I mean to our character's head. That way it looks way more realistic, as that is the goal that I'm aiming for with this game. In my opinion, it's a good strategy to make a horror game more realistic, as it adds that scary feeling to the game, because when you can think of yourself as you are the main character of the game and everything around you looks more real, and it makes it easier for you to think about yourself as the main character, and that way the game feels more immersive. That wobbliness is fine, but player controls feel a bit limited, especially when a player encounters monsters in the future. And for that we need some sort of protection mechanic, and that protection is a big word here. I don't want to add fighting or blocking features to the game, but rather I want to give the player at least smallest possible feature that could give the fake feeling of protection, and that is running. It's very common in horror games, but the point is to let the player run away from scary things. And also it improves the controls of our character. So a few changes to the code to make the speed greater, and also wobbliness will increase, as the steps should be faster while running. Oh, and just for my own happiness, I added the jumping feature, as it helps me debug things in the game faster. But this feature won't be available in the final game, sorry. And as we've got to this point, let me ask you to hit that like button. If you're enjoying the devlog so far, thanks. There is also one very important thing that's almost in any horror game, and that is a flashlight. So, you didn't think that I was going to add a flashlight model to the game, did you? If I'm not going to show the hand that's holding the flashlight, so why bother with adding the model? Or maybe my character has that flashlight attached to the head on some band, especially because that light is definitely coming out of the character's head, and with all of that it gives us a nice effect. Oh, did I mention that I did some small improvements to the lighting system in the game? That's why the light looks a bit better than with the default settings, but don't worry, as lighting in this game will be mentioned in a couple more devlogs, as I'm constantly not satisfied with small improvements. But maybe one day I will say that's enough, but for now, that's what I've got. Except for those small improvements to the player, I added a few improvements to the terrain to make it more randomized. Also, I made a hole in the center a bit deeper, and I found a way to add future assets that will be placed inside the side of that cave wall. And that's how it looks. I did add a simple asset to try it out, and there are some gaps between the terrain and an asset, and solution to that is to fill those gaps with a new asset that could connect those two, like a few rocks for example. But we'll get to assets in future devlogs, and then I'll talk about it more. So that was a small update about the player in my game, and please let me know if you prefer more frequent but smaller updates, or if you'd like for me to make more and then record a bigger video with lots of changes. I want to know your opinion. And in the meantime, I encourage you to check out this new gamedev video on my channel.